So we were talking about the amazing structures and buildings that we call Tartarian that the mainstream historical narrative has said are like Victorian buildings and were built in the mid-1800s. But you look at these buildings and there's no way that these buildings could have been built in the 1800s. And in my mind, there's no way that these buildings could have been built by any number of artisans or craftsmen to be the monoliths that they are, especially with the ornate detail and the ability to capture and transmit electromagnetic energy. There's no way in my mind that these buildings like Notre Dame or the Park Ambassador Hotel in New York or the plaza in Rome, there's just no way that these things could have been built by any number of artisans. And where would they get the artisans and contractors to build these huge, amazing, and hugely symmetrical and detailed ornamental structures? So my inquiry is into how did these buildings come about? Because there's no way. Look how big they are. Look how old they are. And they're designed, obviously, to last hundreds and hundreds of years, possibly thousands of years. So my thinking is that they weren't built by men. Even back when they were built, they weren't built by men, because you would have to have such precision and accuracy and no variation in the skill level of the artisans needed to create some of these ceilings that are obviously some type of acoustical or vibrational ornamentation or arrangement. And the number that you'd need in order to create these things. So, in my mind, I don't think they were made by man. That's what I think. And so I've asked the angels if they would make a comment on what the deal is with these buildings, these big ornate buildings. And so we say unto you, with regard to these beautiful and ornate creations that are harmonic and visually stimulating, almost an overload to the senses, the beauty and creation of the sculptures, the beauty and creation of the symmetry of the detail of the buildings, amazing. Even to us we say, amazing. And we come into the era of light and we see all these buildings coated and covered and brilliant with light emanating from all sides and all sources. And we say unto you, you are right that these things were not created by man. They were not created by man even at the source of when they were created. In order to explain this situation, we would have to back up many, many, many years, imprecise, exact time frame. But just know that when these buildings were created was during the reign of Christ, as you are now in the short season, and during the reign of Christ was when humanity knew how to harness the electromagnetic energy that was all around them, inherent all around them in the ionosphere, and to harness that energy into creative power. As you have seen in a previous instructional video, we have mentioned that music is architecture and architecture is music. So when we come into construction of these beautiful monolithic buildings like Notre Dame or these huge structures all over the world in Russia and other places, we say to you that no, these buildings were not created over the course of 10, 20, 30, even 50 years by human hands. These buildings and amazing, beautiful, detailed structures and the statues within them were all created through harmonics, manipulation of harmonics that are already in existence in the pure potential ether that exists around you. So humanity has been unplugged, if you will, and pardon the pun, from this electromagnetic energy that was harvested by those who came before. In fact, we have gone back to get to the future. The powers that be do not desire you to know who you are. They do not desire you to know at what level of creation that you exist on. For you have been neutered and tamed and collared and corralled for their convenience, so that all of your superpowers may be used and exploited by them who seek to rule this realm. Notice we did not say planet. Indeed. So for you to know that quantum entanglement is merely thought energy entangling with the pure potential that exists all around you in the ether, for you to know that there existed a much more advanced, far superior spiritually and intellectually race of people, and by race of people we say humanity and no other race, for you to know that this version, this predecessor, this predecessor of technology, of a technological human that existed before you, could grow a building the size of Notre Dame from the inherent minerals and frequencies in the dirt and in the air. To see one of these buildings rise up and grow on its own within a day or two is truly miraculous. For these buildings are constructed from the elements of the earth that exist not only in the soil, but also in the air, and exist in the pure potential of the ether, that all mankind need do, as he knew, was to key in the right harmonics that would cause the packets of the quantums of light to assemble into the desired form. And no man did not desire these things. It was the desired form by the strength and tone of the music that was played, much like you would coax a cobra out of a basket. The musics and harmonics that were, and tones and vibrations and frequencies that were played as music that traveled through the air, that encouraged these beautiful buildings to grow and to become ornate inside and out, structurally sound with rebar on the inside and everything, is due to the strength and the tone and the sound and the intent of the music played. Much like the walls of Jericho came tumbling down, the enlightened human could cause the walls of the Park Ambassador Hotel to come creating upwards. Indeed. For when humanity knows that you exist in a magical realm, you exist in a realm of tone, vibration, and frequency, you have simply been unplugged from it. And much like if you would be unplugged or banned from a social media site, you begin to make your music elsewhere, more organically and locally, you shall also reconnect to the vibrational frequency that allows you to grow your wildest dreams simply from the quantum entanglement of thought and the quantum energy of the ethers around you. Music is a short circuit or a way to jump the circuit to a faster creation. Architecture is music. Music is architecture. Music is cartography. Music creates the way. It doesn't show the way. When you realize that humanity is actually a superpower energy being, and that you live on a flat realm, a very large flat realm, a very large, mostly undiscovered flat realm covered by a firmament, and that beyond that firmament, that stars and moon and sun that you experience, beyond that lies the pure potential of another multiverse. The waters above the firmament are a multiverse, just as the waters below the firmament are a multiverse. The waters are a gas. Once you realize how close you are to the all that is, once you realize how close you are to this etheric super being that you have only been unplugged from, and that you start replugging, reconnecting, recollecting all of the bits and pieces of you, you have reconnected into the grand etheric, magnetic, electromagnetic universe that you live in. For Electric Avenue is the street you live on. We would like to go into this further another time. It is important that you continue to watch the instructional videos that we put before you. And it is important that you continue to strive to understand and strive to pick up the subtle nuances and the meanings of what the videos are telling you, because they do not understand that they therein hold the actual keys to the success of this humanity in this universal realm. We say unto you that, and we say unto all, that you are super beings. You are super beings in your lair, except your lair has been invaded by the termites of darkness, and they have eaten through the wires and connections that you've had to your source. And we say to you, gigantic, powerful beings of effervescent, ever-undulating, collective consciousness, wake up. It's time to return to source. It's time to command your domain. It's time to walk into your greatness. It's time to loose the shackles, loose the collars, loose the cuffs that hold you into this realm of darkness. For this realm of darkness, once you loose those cuffs and collars and chains, you float up into higher vibration. But you must choose, individually and collectively, to become unshackled, to free your mind, to remove the blinders, and to walk into the bright light. For once you wake up and realize that you are not this body, you are a consciousness living in a realm of consciousness, conscious creation, that none of this is real, that all of it was created through sound and light and music and vibration and frequency. Once you understand that truth, you are halfway home. We love you. We speak to you in love and light, in assured correctness, to assuage your ignorance, to bring you home back into the light. We thank you for your time, and we look forward to speaking to you again soon.